I didn't even know I was pregnant. I wasn't feeling a lot of symptoms. So when that happens, you want to be careful because it looks like a positive surge, even though it's actually still not positive. Hey, it's Shay. Welcome to my new channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome back. So today we're going to look at ovulation progression tests. Now, this is pretty much cycle number 5 for me, even though we were TTCing before, but then this cycle, not really. It kind of just all happened, but I did track stuff just in case. I really thought I was out this cycle. If you watch my last video, I didn't even know I was pregnant. I wasn't feeling a lot of symptoms. And again, I say TTC very lightly because we were and then weren't really TTCing, mainly because of my children's father slash like partner. He wasn't really like on board that much, but we were doing what we were doing. So yeah, it was kind of on his time. So I said that very lightly. But anyways, this is still part of my journey. So yeah, I document stuff. Now this tests your LH surge. I think women always have an LH surge. By the way, I'm not a professional and I'm not a doctor. I'm just a young mom who is going through another pregnancy journey. But yeah, so this tests LH, which we always have, and I want to give a little bit of backstory. I wrote stuff down, but we will go over this and read it after. But so we're here for the test line progression. So this is my September 2023 cycle number 5 test lines. Sorry for the yellowing. Urine tends to do that over time, but don't mind that though. So we're gonna take a close-up and then I'll show you guys everything. So these are the easy at home strips. You can buy them for cheap on Amazon, and you can test your LH for family planning. So like if you want to prevent pregnancy, you can do this. If you want to get pregnant, a lot of women do this. This is an extra step to ensure that you are or possibly are ovulating. And so yeah, this is just really good to see what's going on with your body pretty much. So I hope you guys can see this. I'm putting a flashlight on so it's better lighting. But so here we have cycle day 9, and I started testing a little bit after I got off my period, which is when you're supposed to test. So here's cycle day 9, and that's a faint line. And just because you get 2 lines, you always will, that does not mean that it's positive. So this was a negative test on cycle 9. Cycle 10 was also negative. Cycle 11 is almost as dark as the control line. So when that happens, you want to be careful because it looks like a positive surge, even though it's actually still not positive, it's negative. And then on cycle day 12, that is when the line got as dark. Now your line's supposed to be as dark as the control line or darker, and you get a high and a peak. So this is considered my first high on cycle day 12. And then since I saw that, I was still confused. So I had ended up testing in the morning on cycle day 13, and it was strong. So that is my peak, that really, really dark line on cycle day 13. And then on the same day, cycle day 13, I had the Pre-Mom app for the first time, and it told me that that was my peak. I thought the AM was my peak, and had I not tested again, it would have been my peak, but I tested again at night just to double check. And that is when it told me that I had my peak, which is the darkest line, even though I do think the morning one's still a little darker, but maybe the second one is darker. So I had 2 very, very strong dark peaks, but really you only have 1 peak every cycle. So then I took that and went with that. And then on 14, it says I was supposed to be ovulating on my app because I have the tracking apps for your period, and you can also track like conceiving and pregnancy too. So I do have those apps to keep up with my period. But this said that I'm ovulating on cycle day 14, and you can see it's still high. And then on 15, the very next day, it pretty much just went down. So I really feel like when it goes down, that means that you probably ovulated, in my opinion. So I feel like I ovulated from like probably 14 to 15 day cycle. Then 16, it's lighter, back low, negative, and lastly, cycle day 17 was negative as well. So you're supposed to test when you get off your period, and then you keep tracking, and you could still track, even though they say to stop tracking when you get that dark line peak, but the app says to keep tracking to make sure you don't have any surges, and you can have more surges than just this one. So you want to just, you know, if you have enough tests, you can keep on testing for it. So yeah, that's what I did, but I did stop like shortly after. But I just wanted to see if I had another surge, and it looks like I wasn't, because it like tapered off very low and negative. So yeah, so I'm pretty sure I have a gradual surge. And yeah, so now let's get a little bit more into this. Okay, so with the Premom app, I had wrote down like the lows and the highs and the peaks that they said. And to help, this is when we had baby danced. Again, this was pretty much up to my children's father, because he wanted to do stuff on his time, and you know, he wasn't really taking it serious. So yeah, I thought I was out this cycle, like I said before, and I thought like I wasn't pregnant because I didn't feel anything, and we didn't do it really how we were supposed to. But yeah, this is when we baby dance, and baby dance is just short for, you know, doing the do. Baby making, baby dance, if you get what I mean. So basically we baby danced on cycle day 9, and it was a low, and we did it then on cycle day 10 we had baby danced, and that was also negative as well, low, 0.32, 0.37. They gave me those. Didn't do anything. Normally people do it, they baby dance on their peak day, but I did not do that. I couldn't. But so then we did it, I guess, on suspected ovulation day. It ended up turning out because he ended up coming late. So yeah. So basically, so we did it on ovulation day, and then that was it. So we only did it 3 times this cycle. And this was really early to do it, but sperm can live in your body for 2 to 5 days, up to. But yeah, it also depends on your partner. So yeah, we pretty much did it only 3 times, but this was actually a positive cycle when I didn't even think I was pregnant. I thought I was out. So yeah, month 5, I ended up being pregnant off of not really trying at first, but then not really, he wasn't taking it seriously, and he was just doing his own thing. I don't know. But this is the date, September 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then I will show you guys, I'll put a picture up of my pre-mom like testing also. It's the same as these, but you can input it on the app, and that's what I did while also like physically testing and saving my tests. So it said I was low 0.32 here. It said low 0.37 here, low 62 cycle 11 day, 0.86 cycle 12, 0.126 high, and these were both high. But I thought this would have been my peak if I didn't test, or like at night. I tested in the morning and at night. So then this was my peak, 134 on cycle day 13 at night, which was when they said that was my strongest line. And then I could have stopped testing. As soon as you get your peak, they do recommend to stop testing, but the app said to keep testing, so that's what I did. And I also wanted to see if I could kind of catch the ovulation. So then I tested again. This is suspected ovulation day, cycle day 14. Baby danced 1.21 high, and then it went down negative again the very next day, cycle day 15, 0.56 low, cycle day 16, low and low. So I hope that helped you guys who has any confusion with the ovulation test. This is my first time like really trying to test for it. In my other 2 pregnancies, I never used these tests. I just went off the apps just to track my period and prior also, I just went off the calendar when I was trying to TTC before, but you know, now I decided, you know, why not? Like, I'm getting older. I want to see what's going on with my body, and I always keep up with my period, so I have all those apps, but they also can help you track or try to conceive and track a pregnancy. So yeah, so this is basically what it said, and it matched up to the app, and those calendars help you, but having your actual LH tests help more because those are just estimates. It doesn't have any of your DNA on the little apps in the charts, and it doesn't have your urine, so it can't really test like fully for you. You have to do it like physically. So I would recommend this. Again, if you're trying to prevent pregnancy, you can still do this. If you want to get pregnant, I definitely recommend you do this as well, but this can be helpful or preventative measures for you, and I hope that it makes sense. You see where we baby danced, the test, that the lines, and the outcome is a positive ovulation progression test cycle. And this was my cycle number 5 again. And yeah, I didn't think I was pregnant. We barely did it. Like, you know, they say to do it every day or every other day if you are really trying. And I know other moms on here are actually like really trying, and they have their husbands doing it, you know. But yeah, so this is just my cycle and my, you know, body and my experience. And yeah, I hope that that was helpful for you guys. I know hopefully I didn't ramble too much. This is my first time like doing this. So yeah, sorry if it's a little bit combobulated, but I hope I explained it to the best of my ability. And now I'm going to show you my lines one more time, and I will go into the information that I know. So again, here I first started negative test, negative, almost positive, confused me, but this is still, I mean, you can, I guess, call it positive, but I think this is negative. Then this is actually, because this was almost as dark as the control line, like I said. This one was as dark, so this was my high. This was my first peak I got, my first dark line where the test line is darker than the control line. And then I tested again at night just to see, and it was still as dark, if not maybe a little darker. Pre-mom said this was my peak and not this, but had I not did this test at night, this would have been my peak. So I counted one and the same. But yeah, right here, this definitely confused me. So just be careful with that because it's very confusing. And then 14, still dark the next day, suspected ovulation day. Then 15, it started going down. So I probably ovulated between these days, really these 2 days. And then the 16th, it was negative, going down. All of these 3 were going down, and then the 17th was going down, and I stopped. Again, I'll show you a picture of my pre-mom logs of these same tests and what it said on there. And yeah, I hope that helped you guys. Now let's get quickly into the tips now if you're interested. So baby dust to you all who are trying. You can get these tests on Amazon. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. So yeah, so here's the info that I researched. And again, I am not a medical professional, a doctor, a nurse, a doula. I'm not any of that. I'm just a young mom who has 2 kids, who's now pregnant with her 3rd. So yeah, this is just my experience and what I researched. And you can do all your research on Google and on YouTube. That's what I did. And on Pre-Mom helps a lot too. Again, not sponsored. I'm just sharing my own personal experience. So basically what I didn't write down was you have to start testing as soon as you get off, the next day that you get off your period. So yeah, make sure you do that and keep testing, they said, even though you can stop on your peak day when your line is as dark or darker than the control line. So then it says you'll always have 2 lines. It doesn't mean it's positive, which is true. If it's a faint line, that means it's a negative test. If it's almost as dark, like these 2, really this one, that does not mean that it's positive. That's still technically negative because it's not as dark. So this can really, really trick you, like I said, so just be careful. The test line has to be as dark or darker than the control line to be positive. Also, be careful if you have PCOS. The test can also be inaccurate because you have like high levels of LH in your body. So you can get a positive even if you aren't like ovulating. So my thoughts are with all the women who have PCOS. Just be careful with that and definitely talk to your doctor if you are like testing by yourself. Number 3, you can have 2 different types of surges. So one is gradual, like mine, from negative, really light, to dark positives, then straight back down to negatives. I don't have another positive surge. As you can see, it goes down. So mine is a gradual surge. Some women can have a rapid surge, meaning that you have to test multiple times a day, because it may go like super high one time, and then if you test like at night, it might go back to like low, versus like a gradual, steady, low, high, low type of rise. And I put, because you can have a rapid surge like you possibly could, you should test multiple times a day. They recommend twice a day to test, so morning and night. And when I say morning, not first morning urine like a pregnancy test, they want you to test. The times vary, but some people say test at 10 a.m. Some people say test at 12 p.m. Or you can test in between in that window. Not first morning though. Not first morning urine or diluted urine after water. You might have to wait a few hours. And then you're supposed to test before or at 8 p.m. pretty much at night. I didn't test really. I only tested once in the morning and at night. I was confident in my in my morning urine, so I didn't test twice. I only tested twice on cycle day 13, and that was it. So yeah, but you guys can test twice or multiple times if that's what you want to do when you have the test to do it and the money to do it. But yeah, I just tested once and I was okay pretty much, minus one time I tested twice. Number 5, there's no possible way to know when exactly you ovulated. These are ovulation predictor tests, testing for the LH surge, and we always have LH in our bodies. So when I wrote this does not tell you when you ovulate, it predicts when you ovulate. So normally when you see these, you can test anywhere and ovulate from 12 to 36 to 48 hours after you see like this positive surge. So when you see this, that doesn't mean, oh, I'm ovulating right now. This does mean to do it as soon as you get your surge though, especially your high and your peak. You're supposed to do like baby dance, but that does not mean that you ovulated. This means, okay, so I might ovulate once I see this. Like I said, I thought I ovulated either on day 14 or 15. So you can see this surge but not ovulate till like 14, or not 14, but like the next day or the day after. So just keep that in mind. And here I just wrote to explain that more. A positive test means you are about to ovulate, not that you are. Even though I read it's possible that you actually could ovulate, but that's not likely though. But it could be possible that you could ovulate around that time when you get that positive test. But 9 out of 10, it means that you're about to. So from 12 to 36 to even 48 hours, you should ovulate after you get that first positive peak test. Which, for example, again, was this one for me, or this one really, the app said. And then I could have ovulated right here. I didn't ovulate right away here. I ovulated between this day or this day. So that's like 1 to 2 days later. Even though you can also ovulate 12 hours later. So that's why you want to baby dance when you have a high and a peak. And then here I also stated again that people baby dance or make love, you know, do that on peak day and or ovulation day and have higher chances. They baby dance on their highs and their peak days. And also ovulation day definitely increases your chances to get pregnant. So if you want to do that, definitely aim for your highs and your peaks. That's when you want to do it, and on ovulation day. So that makes 3 days. Pretty much cycle day 12, 13, and 14 for me were the best time to baby dance. But as you see here, I did it twice when I just got or was barely in my fertile window. And then I really only did it once directly in my fertile window on suspected ovulation day. And I really had no control over that. So yeah. But yeah, it worked. And I really only did it really on this day, barely in my fertile window. So that's why I thought I was out this cycle. But it still happened. God bless me. And I'm so happy. And the last information that I wrote was the Pre-Mom app personally helps really make sense of my LH test because it can get really confusing, especially for the first timers. And you want to be careful if you do get the Pre-Mom app, because you don't have to get the Pre-Mom app if you get these tests, but that's what the app is for. And this really does actually help you, but you could physically just take the test, or in conjunction you can also use the test and the app. And that's what I did for the first time too. I used these and the app because before I wasn't using the app, I was only using this. So yeah, that'll definitely help you if you want to try that. Some people don't like using the app too because yeah, it's like the lighting. So like if you have different lighting, it can show different levels. So you want to be careful of the lighting though when you take the picture. To beat that, I took the pic 4 times, like over and over again, to make sure that I was getting the same level numbers, because sometimes they changed, but most times if they stayed the same 4 times in a row, then I knew it was accurate. And I did that to make sure it was correct, my levels. So what I mean by that, so here I had wrote down the levels that Pre-Mom said, and because there's no way I would know my levels. I just know if it's a positive or negative test. But in Pre-Mom, they show you your levels. So I kept taking the test picture after picture, and I did it 4 times to make sure it said the same number. So that's the only thing that is negative kind of about it, that you just got to be sure of. But again, it worked, and it was telling the truth because I am pregnant, y'all, with my 3rd kid. So I kind of do swear by this. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, so that's what I did, and everything came out correct. And I didn't know this was going to be a game changer for me, because again, I thought I was out. I was trying to make tattoo appointments because I thought I was not like I didn't think I was pregnant. So, but I am, thank God. I've been praying, and yeah, so this is pretty much my ovulation progression test for September 2023, cycle number 5. And again, cycle's a strong word because yeah, you know, I tried to track it. I tried to do my best and it worked. It was just very frustrating, but this made it easier for me. So I hope this really helped you, sharing my personal experience. And I really just give baby dust to all moms who are trying. I know this is very hard to see negative after negative after negative when you really want a baby, or you've been through like, you know, very difficult times and situations within your TTC journey. So yeah, I hope that my experience helped you guys. I hope I explained this thoroughly enough. I'm a very thorough person. I hope this video is not too long, even though it might be. I talk a lot, but I'm trying to help you guys as much as I can. But yeah, here's a little overview again. Yeah, I hope that this helped you guys. And again, baby dust to all those trying to conceive, moms to be, moms who are trying. Just don't give up, because your time is coming. Your body knows what to do, especially if you had kids before like I have. It was actually kind of hard to get my 3rd baby. So yeah, like, I don't know. TTC and fertility is just a strange thing that you have no control over, but this you can control because you can try your best to maximize and take control of your body. So yeah, there's other ovulation tests like the clinical guard too, and other ones. There's other tests, but I really recommend Pre-Mom. I think these are so nice, and it's gonna be so nice when you start to see these ovulation tests match up to the pink ones, which is the pregnancy test. So yeah, I was like, I really hope that these lines get as dark on my pregnancy test, because I never seen any pregnancy test 2 lines on the easy at home until now, which I will show my line progression test in another video. I will show a few line progression tests, so that's going to be next. But okay, I've talked enough. I explained all this, the info, the test, my cycle. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, and baby dust to all. Remember, your body knows what to do, okay? Even though it's not up to you, your body knows what to do. But okay, I will see you guys in my next video. Congratulations to everyone, and let me know if this helped you and if it worked. All right, guys, bye.